paid. Here we go. Hey, what up, Attack of Media family? It's your boy Ray, your favorite yonkle. You know what I'm saying, aka the Auntie Thriller in the building. I got my tag team partner in the building. That boy AJ Russ, Swaggy Russ in the building. Let's go. We are the Cowboys Connect. We are connecting you to America's team. We got your plug on the Cowboys, so let's do it, man. Every time I hear that intro, I get fired up. It do something to you, boy. It activate, get me percolating and stuff. Man, how we doing, big bro? How we going?
Doing great, bro. Hey, like we talked about in the last video, training camp is here. Overshown, man, he's going to be a big part of what we want to do, and Lord willing, this is his best season yet for sure. So let's talk about it.
For sure. Like I said, this is going to be the year of Overshown, what we calling that, because the Cowboys are going to have a lot of decisions when it comes to Overshown. This is going to be a big year for him. We saw flashes of what he could do in 2024. He looked good when he was healthy. Was it 2024 or 2023? 2024. I think it's 2024.
It's 24. He was hurt 2023.
It was here in 2024. He balled out. He got out there. He could do everything. He was pass rushing. He was dropping back in coverage, stopping and run. He was even better than somebody else that was on the roster at that time. I ain't gonna say no names, but he was balling. He was balling out better than somebody else, in my opinion. Then of course he gets that injury. He missed the season after that. And now, last year he came back. I still think he's getting his feet over here. This is going to be almost 2 years now removed from the injury going into this offseason. So it's going to be a big year for him. We talked about all the ability he has, but the best ability is availability. So also on top of that, it's a contract year for the guy. Mulageta is his agent, which I don't think there's really any bad blood between him and Jerry anymore, but still, you know how to do is a shark. He gonna get that bag for his players. So a lot of things have to come to play for him to either stay in Dallas and to get a bag in Dallas. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then what you just said about Mulageta too, at the same time, he's going to trade the most money for his guys too, but for example with GP, he understood the situation. Pickens wasn't getting the most from other teams in terms of from an offer or trade offers and stuff like that as well too. So with Overshown, for me, we all know, he has to stay healthy. That's the main thing. We saw 2024 as his best season yet. That was his technically second season, but technically first season because he was drafted in 23, but he was injured in a Seahawks training camp game. So in 2024, of course, he had, I believe, 92 tackles, 5 sacks. That pick 6 touchdown was great on Thanksgiving as well too. And that was in 12 games, by the way, too. So 13 games, I believe. And then of course that untimely Bengals injury. And then last season, we talked about it beforehand, man. That defense was just absolutely trash. So when he returned, wasn't necessarily in the best position to succeed. But this year, in terms of now being with a Christian Parker who's seen guys like Zach Bond perform and plays that nature as well too, Nakobe Dean, I think that Overshown, he's a downhill linebacker, and then a lot of people view him as potentially being the Mike linebacker as well.
Yeah.
So the best thing for him to be, first is to be healthy, and then for him to be himself. 1 year removed off of injury, that's typically when you see guys really elevate to who they were or even ascend in terms of the trajectory that they were on. So that's what you need. But for me, it's a huge year for him. You look at the linebacker position, this is very unique in terms of how the pay is distributed. The highest paid linebacker is Fred Warner right now, around $21 million. And you look at guys acting like Roquan Smith, that's around 20. Tremaine Edmonds, $18 million, and then also Azeez Al-Shaair just got extended from the Texans, $18 million. So I believe he would be around that range, maybe the 17, 18, something like that too. Because I don't think that even if he has a great or near all-pro or second-team all-pro type of year, I don't think that he would get paid more than even Zach Bond, because he was an all-pro in 2024. Something like that. But I think for Overshown, he's 25 still. He doesn't turn 26 until mid-August, something like that. This is a very pivotal year. The main thing for him, and I'm going to ask a question about this to you later, at different scenarios in terms of games played and then production, what you would sign him or not. This is just a huge year for him, bro. He has to stay healthy, man. He has to, just look great. We know with him what he's capable of. He just has to be on the field.
Yeah, he has to be on the field. Also, too, everyone's talking about, last year he was coming back from injury, so it takes a while for you to get settled when you're coming back from injuries like that. Also, we saw the defense. So that, we're not going to judge anyone really based off last last year's defense because good Lord Jesus, it's not worth judging off of that. But so like yeah, it's gotta be it's gotta be a big year because honestly like he was the best person in that draft class from the class we drafted because there was a Mozzie draft when we drafted him I believe we had Mozzie Schooned and him and I forget who else was on the back half of that draft. So yeah, he's the best person out of that draft class. He may be the only. Is he the only person left from that draft class on the roster? I think so.
It's not Schoonmaker's there too.
Well, Schoon, yes.
Yeah. I mean, he was still there though. Right now, he might not be there.
Okay.
Again, but yeah, for sure.
From a technical standpoint, he's here, but he isn't here at the moment. So yeah, but also too, like that whole room in general, this training camp is going to be one of the ones that a lot of my eyes are going to be on is that linebacker room because we're going to have a bunch of versatile set. Yes, they said we're going to be in a base 3-4, but it's going to be a lot of 4-2. I think it's played as well too. I think we're going to do a lot of nickel. So that means one of those linebackers are going to come off the field. You got a lot of questions in that linebacker room. I think it's an improved room from last year. I mean, anything's better than Kenneth Murray, if you be honest. I mean, shit, I could go out there and make a couple more tackles than Kenneth Murray and stay in my gap, in my zone. But you made a trade during the draft. You got D Winters, right?
Right.
DeMarvion, he's year 2 removed from his injury. 3rd round, we got Jay-Sean Barham, right?
Yeah.
You got year 2 of Shamar James. Maris said they're gonna kick him to the outside linebacker, stand-up pass rusher type situation. So it's gonna be interesting what they're gonna do with the linebacker room. Who's gonna the two you're gonna have? If you're gonna have a lot of times only 2 linebackers on the field, who are the 2 that are gonna be there? Is it gonna be a rotation? How's it gonna work out? But this is gonna be big in how they use him. I'm really curious to see how they're gonna use him. They said I think he's gonna be a Mike, but what's the scenario? Say for instance, Jay-Sean catches on early. You know what I'm saying? Whose playing time is he going to take? What if D Winters really balls out? That's a great problem to have on your hands because we've seen D Winters be solid so far in this league. Now you come to a defense where you have a coach that's a communicator, and that's the word that we've been hearing all offseason: over communicate, because they didn't want no communication last year at all. Dudes was lost in the sauce. They didn't know where they were supposed to be. They didn't know where they were supposed to be lined up. If you're a professional, I feel like you should be able to communicate, and that wasn't going on last year. So we don't know what the issue was with that. We don't know. Hopefully that is resolved. But like I said, they're talking about having him be the green dot guy. That's been the word coming out that he's going to start off as a green dot guy. I'm intrigued because I don't think he's ever done it before. But I think he has the temperament and the mentality of a leader to do it. We just got to see how that translated on the X and O's on the field there. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. And then like with that too, like I think this linebacker room, like that, it's the epitome of what shoddy coaches in terms of like competing every day. Like this is going to be, I think, the most competitive, most in-depth, like competition in training camp because it's like this group besides the secondary was arguably the worst as well too. So I think like for me, D Winters right now, you have to say that he's the most reliable linebacker. He played every game last year for San Francisco. And he played in that playoff game as well too. Well, 2 playoff games obviously that they beat the Eagles and they played the Seahawks. So he was healthy the whole year for San Francisco, and he's a guy that he plays downhill, he plays well as well too. Overshown, you want him to be the most reliable linebacker because obviously he's been part of the team since 2023, but you can't rely on him as much because he's only played 19 games throughout his career so far. That's crazy to say. Yeah. It's just an unfortunate reality. And then Jay-Sean Barham, we talked about him at nauseum. Like he's a guy that you see he's on the precipice of like, say for example, if Overshown, even if he's healthy or like he plays and stuff like that as well too, like he plays well, but like Barham, he shows a lot of flashes and like he's a guy that's flying around the field. Like you might be okay with Barham just stepping in and replacing him and letting Overshown walk essentially. So there's a lot of conversation with that. It just depends. But yeah, like for Overshown, like you want him to be that Mike. You wouldn't be that guy because like even far be it from like we know what he is on the field in terms of what he did in 2024, but like you love the dude off of the field. Like he's a mentality, like he's an absolute dog. Like you see it, man. He, even last year in his recovery coming back, man, like he exhausted every option, unlike other guys that were number 7 in terms of like really trying to get back for real. Like Overshown did all that he could to get back to it. And obviously, like, maybe at times it was maybe too much, maybe it was too quick, but like, that just showed how much passion he has and like how much he believes in himself and how determined he is too. So that's a guy that you want in your locker room for sure. But like, you have to see it on the field. Like, ultimately, like, even it's a similar conversation, not the same exactly, but with DeRon Bland, because Bland, like, he's a guy, like, he don't talk off the field like that. Like, he's very like determined to focus on football, but like, you have to be healthy, man. Like, if you're not playing football, like, we're just wasting money. So like, with that being said though, like, I think that Overshown, you want him to be that dude. Like, you want him to be that guy that we thought Sean Lee was going to be, just in general, in terms of like, the guy that's the face of the linebacker room and can be an all-time great in terms of from a Cowboys perspective at the linebacker position, because he has that ability. You just got to sit on a field game. That's what it is, man.
And speaking of Sean Lee, that's the kind of trajectory we see with DeMarvion. All the talent in the world, just not being able to stay on the field. I mean, if Sean Lee could have been on the field, Hall of Famer, like first ballot Hall of Famer, I think the guy could have been, because he had the skill set. And I see a lot of Sean Lee in Overshown, a little bit more athletic ability though, but that's who he reminds me of. Like, if you think about trajectory, you want to compare, like, especially with their history with the Cowboys, tenure with the Cowboys, that's the obvious comparison because of the health aspect of that. So I mean, you got to do that, because like I said, we did our last video talking about the Cowboys got a lot of decisions to make about extending some of these guys. Like, if it comes down to it, keeping a GP or Overshown, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to go with a GP. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to do that, because you see what that does for your offense. It opens it up so much more. Opens it up for CD when you have GP. Opens it up more for, let's say, a Ryan Flournoy now as your wide receiver 3. The seams, going up the seam. Dak is the seam god. Okay, some of those tight ends is going to help them out too. Also, play action back. The backfield, like, it helps. It opens up this offense so much more. You can do more when you have two guys like a CD and a GP on your roster. But don't get me wrong, I like Overshown, talented guy. But if I'm having to choose, I don't know, man. You ain't been available for me. I can't really justify blowing the bag. I think the Cowboys have learned that lesson too. You saw Jerry in the press conference, like, I can't guarantee, such and such was going to be on the field last year. He said, hell, I paid Dak money and he wasn't healthy all the time. So, I mean, he wasn't capping on that. And I don't think he took that as a malicious statement he was trying to make. It was just like, man, I gotta, you gotta be careful when you have this much talent on your roster. Now you gotta be selective and be smart with how you spend that money and spread it around. How you break up that pie, as Jerry Jones like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and like you mentioned, like, they learned that they got burned in terms of, like, we love Michael Gallup, but I mean, they paid him after getting injured too as well. Like, in the Ron Bland, same type of thing. So yeah, like, they're just trying to be wise within the process, and that's right, because I mean, you wouldn't get your ROI, your return on investment. So yeah, like, I mean, it's just overall, like, I think the word to describe Overshown this year is very pivotal. I mean, and we need him to be healthy and be available for this defense to do things that we want them to do, for sure.
Yeah. So, and
also, I want to ask those questions too for you real quick. Like, I said it before when we did it, but like, I want 3 different scenarios just real fast. Okay. The one that we want, the perfect one, 17 games, he's healthy, gets around 100 tackles, maybe 3 to 5 interceptions, things of that nature as well too. I mean, not 3 to 5 interceptions, 3 to 5 sacks, maybe like a couple of interceptions, plays all 17 games. Are you re-signing him next offseason?
It depends. I want to say yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Number two situation. So he plays all 17 games, but he has like around like 50 to 60 tackles, maybe 1 interception, maybe like 3 sacks, something like that as well too. So he's still impactful, but he's not necessarily like as like doing as much that he did in 2024, like having like close to 100 tackles.
I'm gonna try to see if I can get him from below market value. If I can't, I would say we can't do that because he's gonna be a restricted free agent. So we could tag him and trade him or something like that. But I don't know if we want to do that. I'm not gonna at that point. I'm probably not re-signing him at that point.
And then last one, the third scenario. So he plays 10 to 14 games, but he's still like 2024. He gets around like 90 tackles. I say 6 sacks and then 3 interceptions. So it's kind of similar to playing all 17 games. But he's like having a lot of production, but in less games similarly.
I think it's going to determine on what happens around him with those other linebackers. If I feel comfortable with those other linebackers, you can. What was the segment we did? The show we did? Bring it back and walk it out. Yeah, I'm gonna let it walk it out, bro. You get to walk it at that point. Like, if you can't show this year that you can be available, I'm sorry. I don't care how talented you are. We got to move on. I'm gonna have to move on because right now I got too many guys that I know that are surefire that I probably need to, try to get locked up. So that'd be hard. But tell us what y'all would think. What would y'all do? And what do y'all think about this year for Overshown? Comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe, tap into us on the Attack on Media Network here. Like I said, Cowboys Connect. We're gonna bring a bunch of videos for y'all. Training camp is here. Football is here. Hey, remember you're loved. You're needed out there. We're gonna catch you next time. How about them Cowboys? We out of here. Here we go.